A seismic bombshell shakes the WNBA. Caitlin Clark, the league's scorching superstar, has inked a jaw-dropping, unmatched arrangement that's flipped the basketball world upside down. As this game-changing agreement ignites wild conjecture, rivals are reeling and fans are startled. What's behind Clark's gutsy move? How will it reshape the WNBA's future? Come along as we delve into the thrilling drama, analyze the startling facts, and explain why this historic deal is rocking the sports industry. Caitlin Clark's unmatched secret deal shakes up women's basketball. It all started with a whisper that quickly caught on. Caitlin Clark might have signed something no one was allowed to know about. Before rumors circulated that she was secretly being courted by Unrivaled, the audacious new startup league trying to permanently alter the face of women's basketball, fans had hardly had time to acclimate to her spectacular first season with the Indiana Fever. The tale appeared unbelievable. After all, didn't Unrivaled already boast practically a full roster? Why did Chase Clark enter the game so late? And yet here we are with whispers circling about a contract that has the capacity to redefine the balance of women's hoops. When insiders suggested that a Messi-level deal was being considered, the drama intensified. Yes, that's right. Lionel Messi's unprecedented sports contract is compared to certain numbers. If true, this isn't just about money. It's about turning Clark into the centerpiece of a movement. One of Unrivaled's founders, Breanna Stewart, is credited with playing a subtle but important role, reaching out directly while keeping everyone else in the shadows. Imagine the astonishment for players like Angel Reese or A.J. Wilson, who assumed they were the untouchable stars of this new chapter, only to hear Clark may have been handed the golden key behind closed doors. But what does this portend for the league's future? The odd timing has been brought up by certain enthusiasts. Why rush? For Clark now that Unrivaled has secured the majority of its lineup? Others think the league miscalculated the gravity of her presence. No rookie in recent memory has garnered this much attention, after all. From packed arenas to sold-out jerseys, Clark has become the face of modern women's basketball almost overnight. Could Unrivaled survive without her? The answer, it seems, was no. And that's why this deal feels less like a surprise and more like an inevitable play. Clark's own nuanced reaction is what adds even more intrigue to this tale. She has implied that people who were rejoicing over her disappearance from Unrivaled might have spoken too soon. If accurate, her admission to the league might immediately transform it from an experiment into a significant cultural achievement. And yet the secrecy, the murmurs, and the behind-the-scenes maneuvering give the whole thing the feel of a spy thriller. A non-disclosure agreement here, a private call there. Suddenly, basketball rumor feels more like an episode of political drama. Meanwhile, the WNBA looks on. In comparison to men's sports, the league, which is currently in its 28th season, has struggled for years to garner widespread recognition. A unique opportunity for viral reach was presented by the entry of a novice like Clark. Attendance figures have already soared by nearly 50%. Yet now, another league is knocking at her door. Could her prospective move mark a new era where women's basketball isn't just about competition, but about choice, power, and leverage? Nothing is proven, and speculation is still going strong. One thing is certain, though. Caitlin Clark has become the hottest name in women's athletics, and wherever she decides to lay her flag, whether with the Fever, the WNBA, or Unrivaled, the entire basketball world will be forced to pay attention. However, what actually led to Caitlin Clark's unexpected $75 million deal? Was it loyalty, strategy, or something fans never saw? Stay with us to find out. Women's basketball is shocked by Caitlin Clark's $75 million agreement. Whispers started to circulate. There are rumors of a huge contract that could completely change the landscape of women's basketball. And in the center of it all, Caitlin Clark, the rookie star who already converted arenas into sold-out spectacles, was suddenly tied to a figure that seemed almost difficult to believe. $75 million. Not only for playing ball, but for being the very face of Unrivaled, the ambitious new league aiming to rival the WNBA and alter the laws of the game. The number alone was astonishing. To put it in context, the current WNBA MVP, A'ja Wilson, makes roughly $230,000 a year. By many measures, that's an amazing pay, but it seems insignificant in comparison to Clark's purported contract. Is one rookie truly worthy of such a sum of money? Or did Unrivaled just wager the whole house on a single player who had demonstrated she could captivate headlines, audiences, and global interest like no other? The fact that this incident was handled so discreetly adds to its intrigue. One of Unrivaled's masterminds, Brianna Stewart, apparently wanted Clark's role to remain a secret. The objective was to generate tension, develop expectation, and drop the news like a bombshell. But secrecy entails risks. Other players, once learning about the speculated figure, might feel overlooked or left out. After all, veterans who have worked for every bit of notoriety might wonder why a novice is suddenly being awarded superstar money and global privileges they've never seen before. However, it appears like Unrivaled was considering more than just Clark's signature. Alongside the contract, whispers imply endorsement packages, guaranteed broadcast spots, and pledges of expansion outside American borders. The aim to establish not just a league, but a movement, one that may produce new revenue streams and eventually give women's basketball players the financial respect they've long craved. The media world is already reacting. According to sources, TNT Sports and Unrivaled have reached an agreement worth over $100 million for more than 45 prime-time games spread over 6 years. Visibility brings power. And when contrasted to the WNBA's average of about 657,000 viewers per game in 2024, Unrivaled's gamble on Clark starts to look less like reckless expenditure and more like a smart approach. Will Clark genuinely become the face of a league still establishing its footing? Or is this all just smoke and mirrors to create a buzz? Women's basketball is undoubtedly changing quickly. And whether the agreement is as enormous as claimed or not, Caitlin Clark has already demonstrated she can make the entire sport stop, listen, and marvel. But what caused this golden bargain in women's basketball, and who actually benefits? Continue watching. In women's basketball, Golden Deal creates tension and excitement. Fans can feel it every time Caitlin Clark comes on the court. There's an energy that wasn't there before. Arenas are packed, crowds are louder, and social media seems to light up the instant her name is spoken. Her ascension hasn't only been about her three-point shots or spectacular assists. It's about what she stands for, a new focus on women's basketball. However, a storm might be building behind the applause and record-breaking ticket sales. One that touches on issues beyond basketball. The league has been rocked by rumors of Clark's enormous offer, which may be more than 20 times greater than what many of her contemporaries make. It feels unheard of for a rookie to land such a deal. While some hail it as the start of a new era, others subtly wonder what it implies for the sport's fairness. After all, senior stars who've carried the league for years, names like Angel Reese and AEL Wilson, are reportedly making between $150,000 and $200,000 per season. All of a sudden, a single signing contract has brought to light a financial disparity that is too great to ignore. Never afraid to voice her opinions, Angel Reese even implied on social media that years of hard work can be overlooked when a newcomer receives a golden ticket. Can we really blame her? The emotional toll on athletes who have battled, persevered, and made sacrifices for years without receiving the same rewards cannot be disregarded, even though Clark's presence has unquestionably changed the focus on the WNBA. It poses a query. Is this just the price of development or the start of a deeper divide? There is, however, another side to this tale despite all the hints of stress. Additionally, Clark's breakthrough is being hailed as a turning point. For decades, women's basketball has battled for higher salary, better marketing, and greater visibility. Is it not cause for celebration if one young star's influence can finally compel leagues, owners, and broadcasters to acknowledge the importance of the women's game? Perhaps Clark is not taking the spotlight, but merely holding up a torch bright enough for everyone to share. Intrigue is further enhanced by the timing. The WNBA in its 28th season is still struggling for mainstream dominance. Owners have been reluctant to provide the same resources that men's leagues have had for years, wary to grow, and slow to invest. In this way, Clark's remarkable contract might be more about demonstrating that women's sports can no longer be viewed as a side project than it is about her personally. Still, one can't ignore the feelings seething beneath the surface. Clark's unexpected ascent is causing pride, excitement, envy, and even frustration to collide. Is this the breakthrough moment the WNBA has been waiting for, or the spark of new rivalries behind the scenes? One thing is for sure, Caitlin Clark has become the center of the conversation, and women's basketball may never be the same again. What, nevertheless, makes Caitlin Clark's star power unstoppable, leading to unprecedented bids and intense competition? To discover out, keep your eyes fixed on your screen. Caitlin Clark's star power sparks bidding wars and breaks records. Anyone paying attention understands Caitlin Clark isn't just another promising rookie. She is a phenomenon that is changing the face of women's basketball. The so-called Clark effect has been nothing short of explosive. From her very first professional game, venues packed with excited supporters, necessitating venue adjustments just to hold the crowds. With a roughly 50% increase in attendance, the WNBA was now generating headlines for record-breaking viewership as well as box scores. Clark's games often attracted over 1 million viewers on screen, numbers unheard of in the league's history. However, her impact extended beyond ticket sales. Within hours of going on sale, jerseys with her name were gone, breaking previous records for basketball apparel. Social media was inundated with videos of her deep threes and no passes, making every highlight go viral. She was doing more than just promoting the Indiana Fever, her team. She was bringing enthusiasm into the entire league, luring in younger audiences and fans who had never watched a WNBA game before. Her entrance was, in many respects, a gift, the long-awaited catalyst to bring women's sports into the mainstream. And yet, with celebrity comes opportunity and competition. While the WNBA celebrated the Clark wave, other leagues were taking notice, too. One surprising competitor was Ice Cub's Big Three, a 3-on-3 league for men that includes former NBA players. Known for its aggressive, no-nonsense attitude, Big Three had never chased a female athlete at this level until Caitlin Clark. According to reports, the offer was 6 times greater than the salaries of former NBA greats. To put it into context, the Big Three's top players earned between $100,000 and $500,000 a season. For Clark, Cube was purportedly ready to shatter the mold with a deal that would have exceeded anything the league has previously seen. Why such audacity? Because Cube and his camp acknowledged what many already knew. Clark is more than a mere athlete. She's a movement. She was more valuable than big celebrities who had spent years in the NBA spotlight because of her brand, personality, and capacity to draw audiences of all ages. Even though any crossover contract would be difficult due to schedule problems with the WNBA season, the fact that such an offer was made openly demonstrates how disruptive her presence has become in the basketball world. What does this imply for the future, then? Could Caitlin Clark test her strength in other leagues and still be the WNBA's biggest star? Or will the tug-of-war between established institutions and ambitious newcomers push her career into unexplored territory? Fans, brands, and even rival players will be keeping a close eye on Clark wherever he chooses to dribble next. Because Caitlin Clark is influencing not just games but also the direction of women's basketball. But why did Caitlin Clark make the audacious choice that rocked the basketball world? Could it change everything? Keep in touch. Basketball is rocked by Caitlin Clark's audacious decision. This was not just another contract casually pushed across the table. It was a bold, loud message that was intended to rock the foundation of basketball. Ice Cube, the genius behind the Big Three, had his eyes on Caitlin Clark. And he didn't hesitate to cause trouble in order to win her. Cube thought Clark might add something completely different to a league already full with NBA icons and heavyweights like Lisa Leslie and Nancy Lieberman. Star power that was independent of age, gender, and even sports. Her game wasn't simply women's basketball. Fans from all around the sports world were drawn to it like a magnet. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Clark wasn't enticed by the promises of stardom or even the money. She graciously turned down Cubs' aspirational offer, opting instead to establish herself in the WNBA. Clark's choice was significant in a time when athletes frequently switch leagues in search of immediate fame or financial gain. It exhibited loyalty, purpose, and a conviction in something higher than herself. The WNBA was more than simply a source of income for her. She considered it to be her home base, where she could develop, compete, and inspire a whole generation of athletes. Naturally, this put the much-discussed new women's league in a precarious situation. At first, Clark looked like an afterthought to their huge plans. With most of their roster already filled, murmurs began. Had they misjudged her, or were they holding off on making a move until the ideal time, maybe following her rookie campaign? One thing is certain, yet nobody is certain.